Hey, Wisdom Seekers, and welcome back to Wisdom House, where we dive deep into the books that can change your life. Today, we're tackling a book that's more relevant than ever in our super distracted world. Deep Work by Cal Newport. Have you ever felt like you're constantly busy, but achieving nothing? Are your days filled with endless emails, notifications, and a sense of being constantly on, but with no real output? If that sounds familiar, this book is for you. Whether you're a student struggling to concentrate, a professional trying to make an impact, or an entrepreneur drowning in distractions, Deep Work will show you how to reclaim your focus and unlock your true potential. Let's dive in. Now, the book is broken down into two parts. The first explains why deep work is so valuable, and the second lays out practical rules to actually do it. So let's start with the why and break down the key takeaways from part 1, chapter by chapter. Chapter 1. Deep work is valuable. Chapter 1 makes a strong case. Deep work isn't just some old-fashioned idea. It's a superpower in our economy. Newport introduces the idea of deep work as distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive limits. And he contrasts this with shallow work, the logistical tasks we often get lost in that don't create new value and are easily replicated. Think of sending emails versus writing a strategic plan, for instance. He argues that the rise of digital technologies creates a massive opportunity for those who can master deep work, because you must be able to master complex technologies and continually improve in your field. As the book says, the key question will be, are you good at working with intelligent machines or not? Newport shares examples of highly successful people like Nate Silver, the election forecaster, and John Doerr, the Silicon Valley venture capitalist, demonstrating that those who thrive are those who can harness the power of concentration. Ultimately, the author argues that deep work is necessary to cultivate your ability to master hard things quickly and to produce at an elite level. Chapter 2. Deep work is rare. This chapter reveals a paradox. While deep work is more valuable than ever, it's becoming increasingly rare. Why? Well, many trends in business actually decrease our ability to go deep. Think open offices, endless instant messaging, and the pressure to always be present on social media. The research is clear. These environments create massive distractions and lead to what Nicholas Carr called chipping away my capacity for concentration. We're operating in a metric black hole, where it's difficult to measure the true impact of deep work. This chapter also introduces the idea of the principle of least resistance, that without clear feedback on our actions, we'll default to what's easiest, as well as busyness as a proxy for productivity, and the danger of an internet-centric technopoly. Newport emphasizes that while these are challenges, they are not fundamental issues. Once we are aware of them, we can start to push back and prioritize what matters. Deep work. Chapter 3. Deep work is meaningful. Chapter 3 transitions from the economic arguments to the question of our very human need for meaning, asking what it is that makes a good life. While deep work seems inherent in crafts, does it also apply to knowledge work? Newport uses the story of blacksmith Rick Furr to illustrate that the satisfactions of manifesting oneself concretely in the world through manual competence have been known to make a man quiet and easy. He then bridges this to the work of scientist Winifred Gallagher, who argues that what we choose to pay attention to shapes our world. Similarly, psychologist Mihaly's concept of flow emphasizes how immersion in a challenging task leads to deep satisfaction. The key is to recognize that by focusing intently without distraction, you're not just improving your skills, you're also creating an experience that's fundamentally more fulfilling. The chapter then concludes with the words, "A deep life is a good life, any way you look at it." Okay, so now that we have a solid grasp of why deep work is so important, let's move on to part 2. How to actually make it a regular part of your professional life. Part 2 gives us 4 powerful rules to implement deep work into our life. Rule number 1, work deeply. This chapter is all about creating structure. Newport advocates designing your work life like an architect, building routines and rituals that minimize the willpower needed to enter a deep work state. He shares a very interesting idea of a eudaimonia machine, a designed environment specifically for optimal focus. The key is to move past good intentions and start adding routines to your working life to support deep work. Newport highlights 4 different philosophies for scheduling deep work: monastic, bimodal, rhythmic, and journalist, to meet a wide range of work styles. He also suggests creating a personal deep work ritual that can include when you'll work, where you'll work, what you'll do, and how you'll support your work. He quotes author Winifred Gallagher when he states that the idle mind is the devil's workshop, to highlight that a major benefit of focusing deeply is avoiding negative thoughts. Rule number 2, embrace boredom. This chapter challenges our dependence on constant stimulation. Newport argues that to deepen our focus, we need to train our minds to tolerate boredom, which he explains by quoting Sir Deslanges when he states that to learn requires intense concentration. We need to treat distraction like a muscle that we must exercise. He points out that constant switching between tasks or digital devices is like firing too many circuits at once, and we never give one area to become stronger. He shares the work of psychologist Mihaly, whose work on flow emphasized that the best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. By reducing stimulation, we allow our mind to focus better, and we actually become better at deep work. Newport also suggests methods of productive meditation, where you focus on a single problem while doing a physical task. Finally, he mentions memory athlete Daniel Kilov, who increased his focus by working to memorize an entire deck of cards. Rule number 3, quit social media. This isn't about demonizing technology, but about taking back control. Newport starts with Baratunde Thurston's drastic internet sabbatical, where he tried to quit the internet to re-establish his focus. Newport argues that we need to adopt the craftsman approach to network tool selection, evaluating if tools have a positive impact on our most important goals. If not, we must abandon them. He then introduces a practical strategy, the 30-day digital declutter. In this process, you take a month off social media, then at the end, evaluate if those services truly add value to your life. If they don't, quit them. Finally, this chapter argues that we shouldn't use the internet to entertain ourselves, and instead, schedule productive leisure time to keep us happy and stimulated. Idleness is not just a vacation, it is as indispensable to the brain as vitamin D is to the body, Newport argues. Rule number 4, drain the shallows. This chapter introduces fixed schedule productivity and asks that we make shallow work our enemy. The author shares stories of experiments where companies dramatically cut back the work week and found that employees had to be much more productive to be able to get as much done as before. He then shares a process for scheduling every minute of your workday. The process involves using a notebook to allocate time for all of your activities, including small tasks, and then adapting your schedule throughout the day as needed. He emphasizes that while your schedule will break, the important thing is to continue to think through it and prioritize accordingly. Newport then recommends making a shallow work budget with your boss or for yourself. He encourages us to ask, what percentage of my time should be spent on shallow work? Then, he shares that process-centric email will help us cut down on the quantity of emails that we process, and lastly, that you must actively avoid responding to emails. So, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's summarize the big 3 takeaways from deep work. Top 3 takeaways. Deep work is crucial. If you want to be successful in our modern economy, you need to be able to master complex technologies and produce high-quality results. Take back control of your attention. Don't let distractions dictate your days. Schedule your deep work and train your mind to resist distraction. Seek meaning over busyness. Prioritize efforts that lead to mastery and flow, and you'll find not only that your productivity improves, but also your overall happiness and satisfaction. So there you have it, my take on Cal Newport's deep work. This book is a game changer if you're ready to truly take control of your focus and productivity. I know this was a lot to digest, so I'd love to hear from you. Do you struggle to stay focused? Do you have any strategies for deep work that work for you? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this summary, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep building your wisdom.
Thank you for joining us at Wisdom House, where we bring you timeless insights from the greatest books. If you found this deep dive valuable, Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom House. Stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next video.